Okay, here we go. One vocab word, parallelogram. Because what you need to focus on with parallelograms, we're going to talk about the properties of them. But in order for it to be a parallelogram, make sure you get this down in your notes. This is the kicker. Opposite sides have to be parallel. That's it. So feel free to shortcut that definition. Parallelogram, it's right in the name of it. Parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel. Okay, as soon as you're done writing that in your notes, show me the sign for touchdown. Yes. So literally, guys, these two have to be parallel, right? And then also opposite, these two have to be parallel. Okay. All right, let's draw a real quick sketch of a parallelogram. Because geometry is all about notation, right? So here we go. Sketch it out. Okay, this, maybe it's a parallelogram, but if you're being super picky and super careful, watch out for notation. The notation looks like this. It would be this top side is parallel to that top side. Remember the arrows stand for parallel. But then the ones on the other two sides have to be different arrows. So let's just put two of them. So this would be parallel to this. Good enough for me? That's a parallelogram. Question, Tyler?
Could they all be the same though? They were all parallel?
Could they all be the same if they're all parallel? Like all the same measurements?
Oh, never mind.
Well, let's think about this. Square. Is a square parallelogram?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. It is, right? They've got the same slope on these two sides, same slope on these two sides. Yeah. Okay, let's get into the properties. First two set of properties. I hope this is logical. In your notes, circle this. This is what you need to remember. Maybe that one and this one. In a parallelogram, opposite sides are always congruent. I hope that makes sense. So you can always revert back to like a rectangle. Top is always the same measurement as the bottom. When it comes to your assignment tonight, you've got to defend yourself. Why? You can just say opposite sides are congruent. And then same with theorem 6.3. Right here, opposite angles are congruent. So right here, be careful with opposite angles. Guys, right here, Q and P, are these opposite angles? Those technically are consecutive angles. Opposite are literally across from each other. So Q and S, those are opposite angles. Those will always be the same measurement. It's quite handy. How many of you nod your heads already knew those two things? Yeah? Okay. Nothing new. Next two. Okay, this one, same thing. In your notes, circle this. Consecutive angles are supplementary. Consecutive angles, they're not going to be equal. You add them together and they equal 180. So they're saying right here, first, if you add P and Q, these two together, they equal 180. Right here, if you add Q and R, they're right next to each other, one right after the other. These two, add them together, they equal 180. Does that make sense? Yeah, okay. So don't make those congruent unless it's what kind of shape? What kind of shape would they be the same? Any ideas? Square totally because they're all 90, right? Okay, but they're still supplementary. 90 plus 90, 180. Okay, here's the last one, possibly a new thing. Maybe some of you know this. Is in a parallelogram, circle this whole thing. The diagonals bisect each other. Pretty cool, actually. Bisect. Remember, bi means two and sect means cut. So it perfectly cuts the diagonals right in half, as long as you've drawn both of them. So here's the first diagonal, opposite angle to opposite angle. Here's the second diagonal, opposite angle to opposite angle. If you draw them perfectly, this is the midpoint of both pieces. So again, on your assignment today, you can use this as one of your reasons. Did any of you know that the diagonals bisect each other? Okay, that's the new thing. Hopefully the other ones kind of go, oh yeah, I learned that once a long time ago. New one, diagonals definitely bisect each other. Okay, flip the page in your notebooks. Let's start applying this. Here we go. You know me, I like to draw on the pictures. So what I do first, I read the directions, of course, find the unknown link, TU, right here. So it's this side right here. Shout it out, guys. If that's where TU is, what does TU have to equal? Yes, it has to be 12, right? Okay, in your assignment, it has an extra set of directions, and it says explain right here. So how would we explain that it just equals 12? You just look in your notes, you can use one of those 5 theorems. Don't worry about remembering the numbers, that's like ridiculous requirement. I never ever remember it's theorem 6.53. I think that's So you can just write what the theorem is. Tyler, do you know what I'm talking about?
So if you decide they're always equal.
Perfect. And you can absolutely abbreviate. Feel free to do like opposite sides are congruent. As long as you abbreviate in a way that someone who corrects your assignment can read it, I'm okay with it. So don't worry about writing the number of the theorem, just write what the theorem's talking about. We know that because the opposite sides in the parallelogram are congruent. Okay, let's do the same thing for WT. Where is it? WT. Oh, it's right here. It's part of the diagonal. All right, guys, shout it out. WT would have to equal. Perfect. So right here we can just put equals 14. But if the directions say explain, why do we know that it equals 14? It's a parallelogram. Perfect. Perfect. For your reason, you can just put in a parallelogram, diagonals bisect each other. I suggest you put this in your notes so you remember how to do it in your assignment. Well, I feel like I don't get it. During the assignment, you're more than welcome to use your notes that very first page, so you have all those 5 reasons. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, angle L. Oh, angle L. First, I have a question for you. What if it asks for angle K? What would angle K equal? Perfect, it's 135. How come if it asks for a reason? Perfect, perfect. Opposite angles are congruent. Okay, but it doesn't ask for K. That asks for this one. Can you get a hand in there? How'd you figure that out? Christian, what would you do?
Quadrilaterals equals 360, so you would add 135 and 135.
Okay, keep going.
And then you would split that in half, and that would be our
Perfect. Does that work? So 135 plus 135 is what, 170? 270? Oh yeah, of course, 270. And then you said you cut it in half? But does that go back to 135?
No, you minus that from the 360,
Okay.
and then you cut that in half.
There you go. So that's 90, right? And then you said cut it in half. And you get 45? Alright, so angle L equals 45. How many of you got the same thing? Angle L is 45. Okay, does Christian's way totally work? Absolutely it works. Caitlin, do you have another way that works?
Yeah, can't you just do 135 plus the measure of angle L equals 180?
Absolutely. This one, plus I'm just going to put X for that. That equals 180. How come? Do you remember, Caitlin? Perfect. So you can use that setup because Caitlin remembered that consecutive angles are supplementary. But will we get the same thing that Christian got? Yeah, totally. So whatever you notice, go for it. How many of you get that? Does that make sense? Okay, perfect. Let's go to another one. Okay, this one. I'm going to pause the recording and let you try this one on your own. Use your algebra skills. Okay, raise your hands, help her out, guys.
Okay, so those angles are opposite angles, so they're congruent. So you set them equal to each other.
Perfect. You're okay, right over the shape, we don't care. Perfect. And we're totally happy to keep helping you. I'm going to change the color because the red won't work on the red background. Okay, guys, raise your hand. Tell her what to do first.
-9
Perfect.
Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Perfect. Give raise your hand. Give her another step.
Add 34 to both sides.
Perfect. One more step. Yes. We can help you. Guys, what is it?
12.
How many of you got 12 students together? Sweet. Taylor, thanks so much. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Let me see again. How many of you got 12 on that one? You good on that one? Okay, what if it asked for a reason? So what if snuck in the directions, it just said state a reason or explain Caitlin actually told you the right at the beginning. How come? How come x equals 12? What would your reason be? That's it. Are you catching on? All you have to do is opposite angles are congruent. Okay, next one. Okay, this one, there's 4 questions in one. Let's do this together. I like question 1 because it's a review. These can be tricky. Right here, we're looking for angle D. It's asking for this whole angle, right? Okay, see this notation right there? Because is that just this little guy angle, or the whole angle? It's the whole angle when it has that big arc. So if F is 50, D would have to be. Okay, and let's put, see it right here. Explain your reasoning. What are we going to put? Good enough for me? Opposite angles are congruent in parallelograms. Okay, check. 1 down. Let's go to the next one, EH. Alright, EH is right here. So if that's EH, guys, there's EH. Go for it. What does it equal? Totally. How come? Yes, good work. Because that very last term we talked about, diagonals bisect each other in parallelograms. Okay, same as before. Number 3, I'm going to pause the recording and let you work on it. If you finish number 3, try number 4. Solve for those different variables. You have a lot more room than on the board. Okay, ready, set, go. There we go. What did you do, Tyler? How did you set it up?
21 equals 6y minus 9.
Okay, 21 equals 6y minus 9. Tyler, if it said explain your reasoning, what would you have put?
Because the opposite sides are congruent.
Perfect. Opposite sides are congruent. Okay, so right here, make sure I do this right, guys. Add 9 to both sides. So we'll get 30 equals 6y. Divide by 6, divide by 6. Did you get y equals 5? How many you got y equals 5? Perfect. Yay. All right, number 4. Can I get a hand in there? How did you set up number 4? Caitlin, what'd you do?
I put 7x plus 4 plus 50 equals 180.
Oh, I put equals. Wait. So you said 7x
Equals 180.
equals 180. Nice. All right, Caitlin, if it asked for a reason, what would you have put? Perfect. Consecutive angles are supplementary. Remember to abbreviate if you want. All right, I'm going to combine like terms. So 7x plus 54 equals 180. All right, guys, I'm going to need help. So subtract 54 from both sides. Help me out. What is it? 1 what? 126. And then divide by 7. Divide by 7. Does it come out nice? 18? Curious, how many got 18 on that one? Perfect. Okay. Give me a scale of confidence. Thumbs up, I'm confident with this section. As is, I'm doing okay. Down. Where am I? Let me see. Okay, perfect. Let me pass out your assignment. While you're waiting for me to pass